Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to the channel, and in this video, we're taking 2.7 billion GP to the Grand Exchange, and we're gonna flip and see how much money we can make per hour by doing so. As always, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, and let's hit the Grand Exchange and make some bank. Alright, we're at the Grand Exchange with all of our cash in our inventory, and we're about to hop over into the flips. The past few days on the Grand Exchange have been quite interesting. A lot of the expensive items that are really those high-end PVM items have been jumping up and down a lot in price. Things like the Tumecan Shadow and the Twisted Bow. They've been doing some really funky things, as well as some other armor sets like the Ancestral Gear and the pieces of Torva as well. Because of that, I'm going to try and take advantage of these price swings by first going in for the Tumecan's Shadow. Now, the Tumecan Shadow is currently sitting at about 1.3 bill flat. We're going to list this for a little bit over margin, and hopefully we can buy one of these pretty quickly. You can see here on the graph that the Tumecan Shadow has taken a very slight dip recently, and I'm thinking this thing is going to rocket right back up to about 1.32. I do want to get in on one of these at about 1.31. I've gone ahead and listed the Magus Ring and the Dragon Claws as well, and the Dragon Claws are one of my favorite active flips to do because they just bounce between their high price and their low price extremely consistently. You don't really see them diving down that often, and they're just a very stable item to flip. They also make for an incredible overnight, where if you have more time, you can buy out more item limits. As always, when I am flipping with all of my cash, I'm trying to spread out my cash as much as I can across as many items as I can. That way, it's just a little bit less risky, because if one of my items does not flip, or I buy in at a bad price, then I know that all of my other flips will make up for the difference. One of my new recent favorite items to flip is the Virtus Robe Top and Robe Bottom. These things have just been trading up and down. They've had large price swings, and you can really make a lot of money flipping these overnight especially, but today we're going to flip them actively. So I'm thinking we list a few around 73 million, maybe 336,000, and see if we can have any luck buying out a handful. And there we go, we have all of our flips listed, but these red boxes tell me that we do need to adjust the price on at least the Dragon Claws. Not going to move the Web Weaver bows because they are still buying, even though it says the price is outdated. By the way, I get a lot of questions about these red and blue boxes. Basically, what the blue means is that the item is in the right price range, so our buy offer is competitive, and it basically means we don't have to adjust our flip because our offer is currently between the buy and the sell offer range. But the red box means that the item is outdated, and our price that we have listed is either too low or too high. In the case of these two buy offers, it is just a little bit too low, and we can't expect the items to buy at this level because it's currently underneath the active buy price. You can get access to these by using the Flipping Utilities plugin in combination with the OSRS Price Cloud. And if you'd like to get access to that, check out the link in the description below because you can get 10% off your first purchase by using my code SCAPENOMICS. I am very happy to finally be partnered with Flipping Utilities because they have an amazing tool and has honestly revolutionized the way that I flip in OSRS. Anyway, kicking off the session with a somewhat slow start, we're 11 minutes in and we're finally getting some of our first flips sold. 368k in profit at the moment, but we did finally get our first Tumecan Shadow as well. So we're going to turn this around and try to sell it for around a 2 mil profit. I'm thinking if we list this for 1,317,000,000, that should actually hit relatively easily, but it will take a little bit of time, so might need to have a little bit of patience on that, as it currently says our offer is not within the price range. Usually with these larger items, they do kind of hover around a 5 to 7 mil margin because they're going to trade for at least a 5 mil margin, considering that if you sell this, you're going to lose 5 mil on tax alone. So to make it worthwhile to flip, you'll have to flip for over a 5 million GP profit, which means we're likely to sell this for around 1,316 to 17 million. So we'll see what happens. And we sold all of the Void Wakers. That is a 552k profit total, flipping them each for about 180k. So we're going to go back in and list another few of those and have that complete as we're listing our other offers. Finally, some of the grimy Renard weed is starting to buy as well. This is one of those flips where you kind of list it on the Grand Exchange and you don't really move the price too much on it, because if you give it a little bit of time, it will actually end up buying as long as the price you list it at is somewhat competitive. In this case, it is. It is a pretty competitive market right now. I'm flipping at about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so there are quite a few players online, but that won't stop me from making some bank. Another round of 3 Void Wakers has bought. We're going to turn around and sell these for the exact same margin, so going for around 180k each. Maybe a little bit less, but that's just so we can sell it off quickly. It looks like things are starting to go in our favor a little bit. 22 minutes into the session and currently averaging only 2.2 mil an hour, which is pretty low for me, but we haven't hit any of the big flips yet. And another set of Void Wakers have sold. It's like the only flip that is moving completely for me right now, so we're going to keep doing it until we hit limit. So I think we have about 2 more of those that we can flip. And oh boy, we had the Tumekins shadow crash even further on us. Guys, this could be one of my first loss sessions in a while. This is not looking good. As you can see from the graph here, we're down to about 1.3 bill flat on this, currently sitting at about 1,305 million, and we bought at 310 million, so we're currently down about 5 mil on the item alone, plus tax. We'd be selling for a 10 mil loss right now. We're going to try and hold it out just a little bit longer and hope things swing in an upward direction, because this pattern does not look super normal. I wouldn't expect this to just keep plummeting, especially because it happens so suddenly. In situations like this, usually the item will rebound once it hits its lowest point, and I thought we were there when the item was at 1,310 million, but that's clearly not the case. That is a little bit unfortunate considering we have 1.3 bill locked up in that item and we can't use it to flip any other items right now. There we go. All of our Dragon Claws and Zulrah skills have sold. So that is a really nice profit right there. 670k on 2 Dragon Claws, which is really nice. So let's go back in and get a few more of these. Listed at about 89,365,000. We need to bump the buy offer up as the price is currently going up a fair bit there. As you can see on my flipping session, I'm not really letting items buy out fully most of the time. Usually like 2 or 3 of an item will buy, I'll cancel the offer and sell what I have, and then try to relist more on my buy offer. I just find that it's easier to sell things if you do it in quicker bursts, so not letting the full item limit buy out and just selling what you can. That way you're locking in your guaranteed profit and your margin that you're looking at. Wow, these Dragon Claws are flipping extremely quickly. We just bought another 4 of them under a minute in time, and now we're selling them back, and we've already sold 1 pair off, which is really good luck, to be honest. They usually do not flip that quickly. Currently averaging about 315k for every Dragon Claw that we do flip. And good news on the Tumekins Shadow, everyone. They're currently going for about 1,315 million on their sell price. And look at that. As I'm talking about it, it actually ends up selling off. That is actually crazy. 2 mil profit on that, which is really good. I'm going to go back in and try to get one for a little bit under our previous buy offer and just sneak one in really quickly. I don't know if it's going to be possible because this item is about to rocket up in price, but if we can get one more, we might be able to make a larger margin on the next one. There we go. We just got one already. We're going to turn around and sell this really quick. And I don't press my luck really in these situations that much. I just take what I can get from a profit standpoint, but we'll aim for... that's going to be like a 3.5 mil profit if it does sell for that level. Another really interesting item that's had some crazy price movement is the Scythe of Vitur. Now, this thing is moving a lot in price here, and as you can see, it's been mostly in an upward direction. Even on the weekly view, we've gone all the way from 550 mil-ish to around 600 mil, so a lot of upward movement on this right now. I'm going to try and flip 1 or 2 of them actively to secure the active 2.4 mil margin. just passing the 5 mil profit mark. That is really nice, averaging about 8.7 mil an hour. And if we sell this second Temecan Shadow, we'll be looking at a much larger profit per hour. And it's about this point in the video that I ask if you have any questions about how to flip or what to flip in old school RuneScape. Be sure to let me know in the comment section below. We also have a Discord group dedicated to learning how to flip and make money in old school RuneScape, so you can join that with the link in the description below as well. And we sold off the last of the Dragon Warhammers. We actually ended up losing 37k total on those, which isn't too bad, but no one likes taking a loss. Another round of Dragon Claws sold off. We're at 1.7 mil total profit on those, 290k average each. Let's see if we can get, I think we can do two more until we get to the limit. And yeah, see if we can secure another 600k or so on these last few. We're listing another slow flip, the Torva plate legs. For some reason, the plate legs seem to work out best for me out of the other Torva pieces, so we're going to stick with the lucky Torva legs, currently advertising a 2.6 million GP margin. We're a little bit under that from a margin standpoint, so I'm listed at about a 2.3 mil margin if we were to take this exact sell price. When you're flipping at the Grand Exchange, regardless of if you have 200 mil or if you have max cash, you should always try and list fast flips and slow flips. The reason that is because your slower flips will tend to make you more profit, while your quicker flips will just constantly cycle in GP, and you want to be moving new items through the Grand Exchange by buying and selling them for a profit, because that way, the more you secure those small wins, the more your total profit is going to add up, and there is a higher chance by flipping all these items that you find one with a really, really good margin that is above average. We're going to flip a few of the Osmuten's Fangs as well. These have gotten so cheap that they're honestly really good to flip with a lower cash stack, so I'd highly recommend flipping these. Just don't try to do them overnight if you're new to flipping, because they tend to trend down in price, and they pretty much have been doing so since they were released into the game. We did end up buying the Scythe of Vitur though, so let's go ahead and list this back onto the Grand Exchange. The margin has come down just a little bit, but we still should be able to get about a 1.5 mil margin on this. I'm trying to buy a handful of the Webweaver bows at a cheaper price than where I bought these other Webweaver bows. I'm trying to get a cheaper average, so that way when we go to sell these back, we can actually make a pretty much break-even trade. I don't know, we might lose like a little bit of money on them, but it's hard to tell at this point. And finally, those Dragon Hunter Lances sold off. I didn't want to move the price any lower on those because we would have lost money if I did, and I knew they would sell. It just took a lot longer than I thought. I was able to buy two of the Virtus Robe Tops, and we did sell one already for quite a large margin, 725k for just one of them. That is, wow, and we sold the Scythe of Vitur as well. That one was only a 1.3 mil margin, but still pretty good for a Scythe, considering it didn't take super long to flip that item. So I'm going to go back in and buy another one of these, and try to flip just one more pair. The Temecan's Shadow is making me a little bit nervous, but the same exact thing happened last time, so I think if we wait it out, we actually will succeed on this. We're currently at the 55-minute mark in the session. I'm hoping some of these bigger ticket items do buy out, and we can flip a few of them before I wrap up the flipping session here. But so far, it has been a pretty slow session. Definitely a lot more action in the second half, which is pretty typical for me when I'm flipping, because it just takes a minute to get into the flipping session and kind of find where the margins are sitting. For example, the Scythe of Vitur and the Temecan's Shadow, you kind of want to buy in and see where the margin actually flips for, and then once you know, you can actually flip it a few times and make money as time goes on. Hopefully that does make sense. It's kind of an interesting concept to explain. The one thing that I honestly love about flipping is you can flip when your internet is in the absolute dumpster. I don't know what it is. It's raining near me right now and I am lagging so badly, but I can still flip, which means I can still abuse the best moneymaker in the entire game. And there we go. There is no way we just flipped another one for a Oh my goodness, we're at a 10 mil profit right now, 2.6 mil average for every shadow we flipped, and that last one we flipped for a 3.2 million GP profit. That is crazy. I'm really tempted to go in for another one, but since we're kind of near the end of the session here, I'm not going to dive in. In fact, we're actually going to cut back on the rest of our offers right now and sell what we have. Still selling everything off here, taking our time. We're currently just over an hour into the session, averaging 10.7 mil an hour, but 11.6 mil in total profit. We'll give this a few minutes, we'll come back and we'll see what our final profit looks like. And all of our flips have sold. We'll collect the profits here and take a recap look of how much we made during the session per item. We made 12.8 million GP flipping for an hour and 7 minutes, with our most profitable flip being the Temekins Shadow, 5.2 mil total profit flipping 2 of these for an average of 2.6 mil profit each. As always, I'll post on screen right now all of the flips we had during the session, as well as the 2 additional losses we had, which was the Webweaver Bow, which we lost 220k on, as well as the Dragon Warhammers, which lost us 37k. Anyway, amazing session and very lucky on some of the Temekins Shadow flips, letting us walk away with 12.8 more million GP into the cash stack. Anyway guys, if you did enjoy this flipping session, definitely drop a like. If you want to see more videos like this, check out my channel where we have a ton of flipping guides and flipping sessions to help you learn how to flip. Anyway, my name is Scapenomics, and I'll see you in the next video.